I'm looking at the offence that is high-range drink driving. In this part, I'm going to claim that my news feed only informs me about some of the high-range drink driving cases in the New South Wales local courts. I start noticing this while sitting in the courtroom gallery. While I wait for the case I'm following, it's common that I'll hear a high-range drink driving case. Afterwards, I will search for the case in the news and I can't find any mention. I'm not sure why I hear about some cases and not others. Let me compare two cases. Let's compare the pair. Both are sentenced here at Raymond Terrace Local Court. Built in 1841, and of course there's been some modern extensions since then. The police station is located next door. Of course, being in Raymond Terrace, we are on the land of the Worimi people, who are the traditional custodians of the land here in Port Stephens. I actually grew up in Port Stephens and I have a superstition about this particular courthouse, but that's a whole other story. In the first case, I'm going to call the defendant Timmy, while the second defendant's name I'm going to call Barry, not their real names. In 2022, Timmy, who's in his 40s, has a head-on car crash while driving on the wrong side of the highway. This happened north of Raymond Terrace. Info is a bit vague, but it's possible the people in the other vehicle were injured, but it's a bit unclear. It's the car crash that gets the attention of police, which leads to the charge of high-range drink driving. While in 2024, when I sat in the gallery, I formed the assumption that Barry, who's probably in his 20s, also got the attention of police after some sort of car accident, but there was very little details spoken out loud. Timmy blew .157. Barry's result was never spoken during the sentence, but it is in the high range. Both pled guilty. Both served their sentence in the community. Both had the potential to cause harm driving under the influence of alcohol. From a community aspect, I think both are just as important to hear about. Timmy's case was well covered by both TV and print media. The story covers the arrest all the way through to sentencing. The details from the articles are my sources of information. However, there is no media stories about Barry's case. Instead, I find out some details listening from the public gallery here at Raymond Terrace Local Court in March 2024. In fact, before that day in March, I didn't know Barry had a case. I actually was here following another case when Barry was sentenced while I was waiting. Barry was one of 76 cases on the court list at Raymond Terrace on that day. All high-range drink driving activities pose a risk to the community. Why do we hear about Timmy and not Barry? In conclusion, I have no idea why my news feed informs me about some high-range drink driving cases and not others. There was one detail I found out about Timmy. However, I would argue this detail is not relevant to the legal proceedings. Timmy's chosen career has given him a public profile, while Barry's chosen career has less of a public profile. How do I know what Barry does for a living? He was in his work uniform at court. Did we only hear about Timmy because he is famous? What's fame got to do with legal proceedings about high-range drink driving?